Hello guys and welcome back. Today we are going to be looking at events in JavaScript. But before we get started, let me simply explain what event is. In HTML, events are something that happens on HTML elements. So JavaScript gives us the ability to do something or to react whenever an event occurs on an HTML element. So events can be triggered by a user or a browser itself. So today there are many types of events, but today we'll be focusing on major three events: the button event, the input event, and the keyboard event. There are other events also, but understanding this will make you understand the rest. So we can't cover everything, but I'll be linking a link in this video that you can read more about other events. So today we are going to be looking at, these are the events we are going to be looking at. We are going to be looking at the click event, the Mouseover event, and the Keydown event, and others as I remember. So first of all, let's look at the click event. The click event is always used, normally they can use it on any HTML element, but it's usually used on a button element. So let me simply create a button here. Let me create a button here and say click me, and let me give the button a class btn, right, and save it. Then if I head back to my browser and I reload, yes, I have my button here, right, which is a click me. So now what JavaScript does is that whenever we click this button, JavaScript can react to that event called click and do something after the event has occurred. Let's say, for example, I want, whenever we click this button, this text inside this to change to another text. So to do this is very simple. I will go to my event file. Then first of all, I will create, normally events are always associated with functions, so I'll be creating a function called change text. So I'll be creating a function called change text. So this function will have an access to this this paragraph. So the class is, the ID is demo, so I can just get hold of it using our DOM manipulation. So document dot get element by ID. So I already know the ID is demo, right? So now, so then what I want to do is that whenever p.inner text, since it's just the text I'm interested in, is equal to, I want to change the text to the button has been clicked. Alright, that's just simple thing I want to do. Now in JavaScript event, for us to react, we have to be able to access the HTML file, and we should be able to access what we are reacting on. For now, nothing will happen here because we do not have access to the button yet. So for us to have access to it, this is how we do it. We can do it two ways, but I'll be showing the first way first. Inside our HTML file, we will just go and add another attribute called the name of the event. Which event do we want to check? The click event, right? Whenever we click the button. So for us to do it in HTML, we say on click. So on click, that is whenever I click the button, what should happen? Then it will take a function, and it's the function that is here. And what's the name of the function is called? Change text. So I'll put it change. The function has to be spelled correctly, and see how I put the parentheses now. The parentheses must be put, if not it will not run. Now let me add this event into our file. So don't forget, you can add as many scripts as you like in an HTML file. so it's not necessary you must add one. So I've added this. Once I save this and I move to my browser, I reload, nothing has happened, right? You said P has already been declared. Okay, I know this is where the issue is coming from. It is because I declared P in this DOM manipulation and I'm declaring P again inside this place, right? So I think that's where the issue is, because I'm using the 2 in my HTML. So let me just comment this out and save. I think we shouldn't have issue. Yeah, okay, this is our simple text here. So whenever I whenever I click on this button, you can see it says the button has been clicked. Once you reload, you can try it again. You see the button has been clicked. That's a click event. I told you that we can do it 2 ways, right? We can either link it using our inside our HTML like this, and let me show you the second way. Yes, here is the second way. The second way is by getting hold of our button. So I can say const btn is equal to document dot, I will be using query selector here. I want to get the document by the class. Remember, I declared a class called btn, so I will be getting it hold by the class. So I will now say btn dot, what I will be doing is I will be adding an event listener to the body, to the button. Add event listener like this, then I will click. So the first thing will ask me what type of events did I want to listen to. So I will specify it in a string. I will say click. Now it won't be on click, no, it will just be click. Then okay, after I listen to this event, what should be done rather? So this is what I want to be done. Change text. Then I will now put it change text, but this time around I will not add the parentheses. No, you will not add the parentheses. No, it is very wrong. So remember, we are passing this function as an argument into another method called addEventListener. If you watch my previous video, you will understand what I'm saying. So once I save this will do the same thing like the other one. You can see same thing has been done. Yes, that's simply how a click event happens. Now let's move to a mouse event. There are many mouse events. We have mouse over, mouse out, and the rest, but I want to show you the mouse over event and how it works. So I'll be creating, okay, I have a div here already. Let me bring this button out of the div, this div container. So I want to create this div container. I just want to style it. Let me just style it. It has, the name is container. If you don't know CSS, please, this is not a CSS this is not a CSS tutorial. If you don't know CSS, you can learn anywhere. I just want to just give it a styling so that we can see the div very well. Okay, then the last one should be all this should be able to make the div visible. Yes, this is what I want. Okay, so now then I will go, let me undo this thing. I'm trying to get hold of my container inside my JavaScript file. Yes, I've gotten hold of it, right? So what I do prefer is I prefer to put events on the JavaScript instead of putting it on the HTML. I don't want to mix it together, so I'll be putting it here. Then I will say container dot add event listener. Now, which event do we want to listen to? Mouse over. Then what do we want to happen after the mouse has been over it? So now I'm not declaring a function, so I'll be putting an anonymous function. I've explained this already when we are looking at array methods. So what I want to happen is I want to write something inside the container itself. I want to say new message in. So once I do this, now this is what will happen. Whenever my mouse, look at my mouse now, whenever my mouse is on that div, you will notice what will happen now. Alright, this is not doing, I don't really know why it is not doing. Let me see where I made a mistake. The Mouseover is spelled correctly. Let me see. Oh, I made a mistake in this container. Let me see. Okay, the container is correct. The container, let's try it again and see. Let me refresh and let me mouse over now. Yes, the new message in the container. I think what happened was that I didn't refresh the browser. I think that's the issue. Okay, my code is working out perfectly. Now you can notice how whenever I just move my mouse close or over to the container, then that means there's an event called Mouseover, and whenever that event occurs, then the JavaScript does what we ask it to do. I hope you understand this. Yes, and the final one that I will be looking at is the key event. So whenever we type anything on our keyboard, we can also listen to those events. So yes, then how do we do this? I think since we'll be adding the event listener on the document itself, because now we want to listen to key. So we are not interacting with the HTML page, but we are just interacting with our keyboard. So I think this is the way to do it. But let's just try it and see what we have. Keydown. So on Keydown, what did I want it to happen? So I just want to log something to the console and just say a key is pressed. So let's see what will happen here. Yes, I after typing things, you see, the more I type, the more something is being logged into the console. Now you notice the difference between this is I use the document because a key event is tied to the document itself. We are not interacting with anything on the page. I don't think we are interacting with anything object like this. We will have used what we are using to interact, then we add the event listener to it. Another event listener that we can do is the unload event listener. We have something called unload on the document. You can do it like document.unload, and it will just do like this, then add your function to it and says this page has loaded. Once I save it and once I refresh immediately, I should see it said document.unload is not a function. Okay, yeah. I think the mistake here is this. I made a mistake. This is the mistake. Document.unload is supposed to take equal to, then I think this will work fine. Let me say the browser has loaded. So let's do it again. L5 to reload. Let's see it again. Okay, I see nothing is being loaded to the console. Okay, let's try it our normal way. I don't know why it's actually not working. Let's try it our normal way. Document dot add event listener, and let's add an event listener called load. Now we are not going to be putting on load. Then inside the event listener, I'll be putting this, right? So instead of, let me remove the comment. So I will be, instead of putting these curly braces, let me just remove them to make it short and simple. Remember, so let's try it now. Okay, all right, nothing is actually happening. I don't know why it's actually not working, but this is supposed to load. This is supposed to do, but I don't know why it's not actually happening. You can try it at your own end and see the result, and let me know if it actually works. Yes, another event that I would like to introduce before I end this video is the input event. Let me say, okay, let me create an input, a text input. Yes, I create a text input. So let me just add a class txt, and let me go to my browser, and oh sorry, I said let me go to my JavaScript file, and let me first get hold of the text. Let me just name it txt. All right, then what I would do here is that I will say my txt dot add event listener. Then the event I want to listen to is, you can listen to many events for input. You can listen to focus event. There's an event called focus, and I can listen to the focus event and just load something to the console. Let me just copy this to be fast. Let's say focusing. Yes, a focus event is whenever I click on this thing and my mouse is on it, that's focusing. You notice how immediately I click on it, it's focused. That's what we mean by focus in JavaScript. And you can also add an event called on input. You can add an input event. An input event, whenever I type something in the input element, is to continue logging this to the console. That is, once I focus, let me reload first. Once I focus now, focusing is not working. It's not. But whenever I begin to type, notice the more I type, the more it's beginning to log anything I type. Even though I'm removing something, it will also, even though I'm editing something, whenever any changes is occurring, it will all begin to log into the console. That's what this even input event is talking about. So that's all for today. To know more about other events that we have and how to listen to them, I will link a web page that you can visit to learn it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one.